First premiering back in 2014, 90 Day Fiancé tells a story of women who travel to the US to live with their American fiancés for the first time. Each couple has 90 days to wed before the visas expire, and the women must return home. So stay tuned and don't go away because we're revealing 10 behind-the-scenes secrets from 90 Day Fiancé's cast and crew. First up, have some 90 Day Fiancé cast members acted on TV before? We're about to find out. 90 Day Fiancé is always in need of big personalities, people who are comfortable on camera and willing to show a personal side of themselves to millions of viewers at home. But reality TV requires a certain level of performance from its cast members to keep viewers entertained, so it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that some of 90 Day Fiancé's biggest personalities have acting backgrounds and experience before appearing on the show. For instance, Jeffrey Peschel from the Before the 90 Days spinoff has appeared in a number of television productions, mostly in the form of true crime reenactment. Also, Natalie Mordavtseva has appeared in a number of TV shows and movies in her native land of Ukraine. Another behind-the-scenes secret you may not be aware of is that 90 Day Fiancé is partially scripted. Why? Because entertaining viewers across several seasons and spin-offs requires dramatic scenes and witty dialogue to keep fans engaged. Just like fictional scripted films and TV, 90 Day Fiancé relies on a script to keep the drama and tension high. Sometimes producers will tell cast members, "Oh, I think it would be cool if you did this," or "I think you should say this." Also, many of 90 Day Fiancé's most colorful characters were carefully scouted from other reality shows in the past. Next up, does 90 Day Fiancé's editing create false narratives? You bet. Countless hours of the lives of each couple are filmed for 90 Day Fiancé, and their storylines span multiple weeks and months for each season. As a result, editors are essentially forced to whittle down the footage to a sort of highlight reel that only features the most important and dramatic events of the couple's lives. In other words, the editing process creates a false narrative that skews the respective couple's real story in life. According to some cast members, the editing process often creates events that have never even taken place. Former 90 Day Fiancé cast member David Clegg explains, "The edits are just getting so bad on my daughter that it's disgusting." Clegg points to one incident in particular that presented her daughter Drusilla as running away from an argument between her and her former husband Jehoon. But the truth is, Drusilla was running to a playground. So much for authenticity. Another lesser-known behind-the-scenes secret is that 90 Day Fiancé cast members pay for their own flights. To keep the drama as thick as possible, 90 Day Fiancé couples spend a great deal of their screen time apart in their respective countries. We often see couples struggling to contact one another overseas and resolve their issues. This is largely due to the fact that the cast pays for their own flights. Producers could easily afford flights for their cast members, but the tension that comes from budget and travel issues makes for more dramatic content. Up next, why are 90 Day Fiancé scenes shot multiple times? Let's take a look. In order to make scenes as dramatic as possible, scenes are constructed by producers, filmed multiple times, and edited to create the best scene possible. This is standard practice in the scripted film and TV industries. Another behind-the-scenes secret that many fans are probably unaware of is that 90 Day Fiancé's American cast members are paid very little. Considering 90 Day Fiancé's massive popularity, you would think that its cast members are adequately compensated. But as it turns out, American cast members aren't paid high salaries. The Americans are paid roughly $1,000 per episode. For these reasons, it's not uncommon for cast members to work standard, real-world jobs while working on the show. For non-American cast members, the pay is even worse. In fact, the pay isn't merely lower for non-Americans, it's non-existent. That's right, those cast members are paid zilch, nada. Producer Matt Sharp has confirmed that the international cast is not paid any money whatsoever. Sharp explained, "Someone who is an international, that would be illegal to pay someone. They would have to have a green card, which they do not. But if those behind-the-scenes secrets weren't enough to turn your stomach, wait until you get a load of this. Female cast members are told to sit in a certain way. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Female cast members often sit in the same position, with one leg slightly elevated in a crossed position." Anfisa Arkipchenko explained, "Producers make all women on the show sit like this if you haven't noticed." Stay tuned and don't go away because we're about to reveal 7 shows like 90 Day Fiancé that you'll want to add to your binge list. Next up, which series uses scientific matchmaking expertise to set up couples to legally wed on camera? Married at First Sight. Coming in at number 1 is Married at First Sight. This series first premiered in 2014, the same year as 90 Day Fiancé, and made a splash with with its wild premise. In Married at First Sight, specialists use scientific matchmaking data coupled with their own expertise to set up several couples to be legally married on camera for all to see. This is also the first time they're meeting each other in person and the first time they are communicating at all. The show then follows the couples to see who stays married and who gets divorced. Coming in at number 2 is Marrying Millions. Marrying Millions has a lot in common with 90 Day Fiancé. Both shows see couples from different backgrounds rise up in the face of scrutiny and doubts to see if they can overcome their differences in order to get married. The only difference is that all of the couples have one person who is incredibly wealthy, while the other is at the opposite end of the income scale. Marrying Millions' goal is to test couples and see if they can live happily ever after, given the potential issues that can arise from such vast financial differences. Up next, is Love Really Blind? Let's find out. Coming in at number 3 is Netflix's Love is Blind. This reality series follows couples that have been communicating online and meet for the first time while on the show. Essentially, it's a Netflix original dating experiment to test whether love really is blind by having singles date via pods, where they can only form a connection by speaking to one another and cannot see each other until after getting engaged. Following their engagement, the couples meet and get to form a physical connection that will help them decide whether or not they will ultimately get married in an on-camera wedding ceremony. Critics say it's kind of insane, and they'd be right, but hey, America loves it. Moving on now, and coming in at number 4 is Love After Lockup. Since we're on the subject of reality shows with insane premises, Love After Lockup centers on couples who met in person for the first time when one of them is released from prison. Yikes! Each couple consists of an inmate and a non-inmate who have been communicating solely via pen and paper, phone calls and video calls before the inmate's release. If you were single, would you ever be a contestant in shows like Love is Blind or Love After Lockup? Let us know what you're thinking. Drop those comments down below. Next up, what are 2 more shows that are similar to 90 Day Fiancé? We're about to find out. Coming in at number 5 is Marry Me Now. Like 90 Day Fiancé, Marry Me Now takes couples and pushes them toward marriage, but with a twist. Relationship coach Rebecca Lynn Pope guides women and helps them take control of their futures by guiding them toward proposing to their significant others, and then planning the subsequent marriage. Coming in at number 6 is The Ultimatum. The Netflix original series became wildly popular after its release in April 2022. Hosted by Nick and Vanessa Lachey, the series takes 6 couples on the verge of marriage and pushes their relationship to the brink by splitting them up and pairing each person with someone from a different couple for 8 weeks, giving them a chance to experience something different. At the end of those 8 weeks, the original couples reunite to address the ultimatum of whether or not they will stay together after everything they've learned and gone through on the show. Do you think shows such as these are a benefit or a detriment to society? Finally, when a couple is in trouble, what does it need? Couples therapy. Coming in at number 7 is Couples Therapy, a Showtime original docu-series. Couples Therapy gives viewers a behind-the-scenes look at regular couples as they work through their differences with psychoanalyst Dr. Orna Guralnik, who tries to help the couples find relationship success through empathy, expert tactics, and at times some good old-fashioned tough love. Thanks to Dr. Guralnik, those in couples therapy are likely dealing with their issues in a healthy way. Dr. Guralnik prides herself in helping couples love each other to the fullest extent possible, and she's one of the leading couples experts in America. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.